Today marks the 40th anniversary of Roe versus Wade, the landmark Supreme Court decision that did what exactly? A new Pew chart shows that many Americans, in fact, most Americans aged 18 to 29, aren't quite sure what Roe v. Wade did. So Sarah Kliff from the Wonkblog joins us with that and other data on this anniversary. So refresh our memories. What exactly did Roe v. Wade do?
Right. So Roe v. Wade is the Supreme Court decision that made first trimester abortion legal across the country. And this was a pretty sweeping decision at the time. You had only a handful of states that had legal abortion. And all of a sudden, overnight, it was the entire country. So it really changed abortion access for, as of today, 4 decades going forward.
So the next chart shows really the dramatic increase in the number of abortions, first when more states made it legal and then in 1973. But then it peaks around 1980.
Right, and one thing I would add about this chart just shows legal abortion. So, this doesn't capture anyone who might have been getting an illegal abortion in one of those states that didn't allow it.
Right.
So definitely, right after the ruling, you see this increase, and then since the 1980s, you see a slow decline. And actually, this past year, or 2009, which is the most recent year we have data for, lowest abortion rate we've seen, since the CDC recorded these things.
So the why is obviously, political hot button stuff, and it's hard to draw a direct correlation, but we have a couple charts to get at some possible reasons. So the next one shows access to providers.
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is right after Roe, a big increase in abortion providers. And then in the early 90s, a pretty significant decrease. The most recent years, it's actually held pretty steady, and we'll probably see going forward whether that stays the same or continues to decline.
And I mean, it's interesting that this graph charts the previous one relatively closely, the decline in the number of abortions and the decline in the number of providers. But our final chart will show another possible reason, which is the number of state restrictions on abortion.
Right, and this is something you can see right here has really changed just in the past 2 years, where ever since the Roe decision, states have kind of tried out ways to restrict abortion access. And these include things like a 24-hour waiting period, or if you're a minor, you need parental consent. And these are the kind of restrictions that the Supreme Court has decided are okay even with Roe, that they're not an undue burden on a woman seeking an abortion. We really saw them spike in 2011, and that was right after you saw Republicans take control of a lot of state legislatures and all of a sudden have enough votes to pass these. They declined a little bit, or a lot, I guess, in 2012. And a lot of the thinking when I talk to people is just, states passed a lot of the regulations they wanted in 2011, and there just wasn't as much on the table in 2012.
Okay, Sarah, thanks for walking us through it.
Thank you.